Yeah, welcome to Case Study class. This is Zenith Tutorial Center. For our previous class, we have looked at so many things at the introduction to case study. We have looked at the objectives of case study. We have looked at the terminology we need to understand in case study. Also, we have looked at so many things there. But today's class, we need to now go in to look at examiner expectations at professional level. So then that will now lead us to the key verbs that we need to know that because all these key verbs, we are not going to be saying it in your requirement, then how are you going to treat it when you see that type of keyword? So, but let me start by the topic today is that examiner expectation at professional level. Examiner expectation at professional level. So I hope that we can see our screen. So at the professional level, the ICAN Case Study examinations is designed to assess the candidate's ability to apply technical knowledge. So I explained this one earlier that the purpose of ICAN testing individual at professional level is to assess our ability to apply technical knowledge in a practical business. So they are believing that we are dealing with a practical life scenario. That is what some people that are still working class people. So I used to say that it should be easy for them. Why? Because they are always interfacing, dealing with the report in their periods of officing. So rather than the more recalls of accounting standards. So it's not all about it's not all about cramming standard. So it's not all about it. But case study is a practical thing. So examiner is expecting candidates to demonstrate one, accurate interpretation of examiner requirement. Accurate interpretation of examiner requirement. So you need to decode it. You interpret it. For example, when you are interpreting gross profit margin, use appropriate formula. Then use how many percentage do you get? So you interpret it the way it is. Then after you have calculated accurately, then you interpret it. Oh, if gross profit margin is 30% due to this as a result of this. So that is the accurate interpretation. You tell them reason what happened, then it's likely suggestion can give that company for a way forward. Then professional judgment in analyzing business scenario. So you make a professional judgment as you are analyzing what business you because we are dealing with a business. So you look at the business. That's why I mentioned in our first class that you need to understand what the type of business you are dealing with. So when you know the type of the industry, the technicality that the business is, then you also know the wider issue that involved in that particular industry. So you need to now know. So you make judgment based on that industry that is happening in the current economy. Then logical structuring of answering in your report format. So we are also going to look at the format. So the type of the format, I will give you the type of format we are going to is acceptable for ICAN so that you can go in and pass the exam once and for all. Then clear, concise, and relevant communication. You use a clear word, concise, and relevant communication. So you don't need to use an ambiguous word necessarily. So you don't abbreviate. Just make sure you are giving a clear word. When you are writing, make sure you are giving a relevant communication. Everything is formal. It's a formal language. Then appropriate use of figure, ratios, and explanatory notes. So you appropriately use figure. So I used to say that. So when you are using figure, you can report either in absolute figure or you report in percentage. You can decide to choose any one of these. So absolute figures means that you are using figure as the examiner has given to you. Like for example, if they are giving you 3 million in your revenue, you are using that absolute figure, all of the figures in 3 million. Do you understand? So, but some students, the reason why we usually say that they should work in percentage is because some students usually make that mistake. They usually make some mistakes. So, but if you are very good, sound in writing those figures, you can write your report in absolute figure. Then candidates are required to respond with professional advice. So you are responding as what? As a professional. So that day, you are going to see yourself as what? As a professional. not as a student reproducing textbook content. So you are seeing yourself as a business in a business environment. So that means your mindset must change that day. That, oh, I am going into this exam as what? As business advisor. As business advisor. So I am there as a professional to advise this type of the industry, this company. That's where you are going there for. So anything, any recommendation, any judgment you are making, you are reproducing it as what? As advice to that company. You are giving them as advice to the company. Then why technical knowledge alone is not sufficient? I used to tell people that technical knowledge alone is not sufficient. Why? Why? Then the many candidates approach the case study paper with a strong technical knowledge of accounting standards, taxations, and finance. So some people say, which one should we read from the angle of taxation? Which one should we read from the angle of standard? Which I said, no, it's all about all technical knowledge. Do you understand? You have had all this experience from skill, from profession, even from your foundation. So they are just there to what? To give you what? To tell you, they are expecting you to come and practicalize all what you have done in all these different levels. So yet still fail to achieve a pass where you say student can still fail. If you know all the standard, you know all the principle of taxation, finance, everything, you know everything in SFF, student can still fail. That is why case study has been a paper delaying many students to in qualifying. So and that's why I try to come up with this. And this material I'm using, so you can get it, So just get it on the so if you want, so if you will see the link where you can get the material. So you can get it on the seller, it's 1,580. So just go and get it so that you can read it at your own lecture time. So you can digest it and understand what I'm trying to tell you. Then this is because the case study examination does not reward lengthy explanation of standard. It doesn't reward it. You are just cramming standard. You are claiming, no, it doesn't reward that. Then it doesn't what? It doesn't reproductions of theoretical definitions. You don't need your theoretical definition, standard IS 36 is this. It doesn't require that. You can only say a brief explanation of it. Do you understand? And make judgment upon that what? Upon that particular standard. How company could make use of it. That is it. Then how is it going to be? What is the implication if company does not make use of it? That is judgment. Do you understand? Then calculation without interpretation. Calculation. When you calculate, that's what we call analysis and appendix. You calculate, you make all your analysis in your appendix, right? So calculation should be where? In your appendix. So some students make use of that appendix alone. They will go and use 2 hours to calculate without interpretation. That means you are working towards to get only 10 marks for that diet. That's what it is. So that's why you will see some students, they'll be getting 5, they'll be getting 1, they'll be getting 8. Why? Because they focus on what? On calculation without interpretation of what they have calculated. So whatever you calculate, you need to import into your report and come and interpret it. Marks are awarded for addressing the specific requirements set. So that's what marks acquired for. So they will give you mark for what you address the specific requirements that they set. Then apply technical knowledge to the fact of the case. So to the fact of that case, you apply technical knowledge to the fact of that case. Then demonstrating professional judgment and conclusion. You are able to demonstrate professional judgment. You know, I said you are there as what? As a professional advisor. So, and you make conclusion based on that business scenario given to you. Do you understand? Yeah. A technical correct answer that does not address the requirement directly may attract little or no marks. Do you understand? So a technical correct, that means when they are talking about contingent liability now, you give them what it means, the condition required in that contingent liability. Do you understand? But when you did not directly what attract it to what to that what's the that requirement is talking about, you only get a little mark as you are what you are able to know that standard that you are giving the definition and the condition. So examiner is expecting you that, okay, based on the contingent liability, how could you relate it to this case study? How could a company make use of it? What would be the benefit if the company make use of it? And what would be the negative impact if the company did not make use of it? That is how you solve the case. That is how you solve the case. Then common reason professional candidates lose this mark? This thing here. Why did they lose marks? So I mentioned this one earlier, so I will quickly run through this so that then based on the occurrence examiner observation, professional candidate commonly lose marks for the following: misinterpretation of action verb. You see, action verb, such as review, evaluate, advise, and recommend. So they misinterpret it. The failure to address all parts of the multitask requirement, writing without a clear report structure. You see, writing, they don't have a clear report structure. That's why they also fail it. Then ignoring instructions to use explanatory notes or case information. You know, many a times, examiner will give you, they will link you up with a particular exhibit that use this exhibit. And most of students usually ignore it. That is why they usually fail at that. So I mentioned that in our first class that they are what we call relevant information and irrelevant information. So when the examiner is instructing you to a particular explanatory note, that is telling you that that is what is a relevant information that you must make use of importantly. So it is important for you to make use of that information. That's why they are linking you up to that particular exhibit. So then listing ratios or figure without analysis or conclusion. So you are only listing figure, you are listing the formula, listing the a lot of percentage without analysis, you start concluding on it. Then weak or mis-executive summary. So when your executive summary is weak or is missing. So when you don't write executive summary or your executive summary is very weak, I used to say that your executive summary must be very attractive to the examiner, must be very attractive so that when they read the examiner, they will be expecting more. So they will eagerly go and read your report. But when your executive summary is very weak, it's very shallow, so the person that is marking your paper will not be able to develop that you'll be saying, oh, this person that cannot give us a good example. So what do we expect? What do you expect in the report? So then poor time management results in incomplete answer. So many students fail from this angle also, poor time management. So, you know, as I goes on, I'm going to tell us how you can manage your time effectively for this case study. You know, even though if you cannot finish, at least you will finish 80% to 85% of all your requirements. So I will teach us for this guide. I will teach us. Even when the present come out, I will still do the analysis of how you can do everything on that. Just keep following our channel. Keep try to join our WhatsApp group so that you can get the update. Then candidates should note that presentation, clarity, and relevance are critical at this level. So presentation is very important. You are a professional. Do you understand? Clarity. So I also advise that make sure your writing is clear. They are going to scan your paper. Make sure it's clear. If it's not clear enough, so you know, examiner, the person that will mark your paper will be struggling to mark it. So that's why, so make sure you have a good hard writing, and make sure that everything is relevant. So it's very critical at this level. At this level, you don't just write anyhow and expect mark. Some students also fail because they are just writing, and the person that is marking, you want to mark them, cannot see what they are marking. Then examiner guide. So just see this guide. So you can just read through it. So candidates are advised to what? Read each requirement carefully before writing. You read it carefully. Then identify the action verb. You identify the action verb and imply stars. Plan answer before attempting them. You plan your answer before attempting them. Use appropriate heading aligned with the requirement. Conclude clearly on management performance or issue identified. You see, management performance on issue identified. You conclude it clearly and identify those. Then, consistent application of these principles significantly improve performance in ICAN professional case study examination. Now, let's move to importance of requirement interpretation. You know, I mentioned it earlier that some students also fail because they cannot interpret requirements appropriately. So then what are the importance of it? At this level, professional level, the ability to correctly interpret examiner requirements is a critical success factor. That is it. PSF, critical success. For you to pass, you must decode what the requirement is. Many candidates lose substantial marks because they fail to understand what the examiner is asking. They are doing another thing. So they fail to want to attempt that what the examiner is asking, they attempt another. Despite possessing adequate technical knowledge, each requirement is carefully worded, and every action verb used has a specific implication for the expected answer. Failure to respond appropriately to this verb results in loss of mark. If you cannot address it very well, result to what? Loss of mark, regardless of the technical knowledge or technical accuracy of the content. So no matter what you write, you will still lose one. Candidates are therefore advised to spend sufficient time analyzing the requirement before writing. So you analyze it. So what did the examiner even ask you? Do you understand? They are asking you that, evaluate the performance of JJT for the period of 3 years. You ask your question, how do we analyze the performance? What are the things to analyze the performance? And for you, let me tell you, for you to analyze performance, you come from two angles, weakness and strength. That's how you know whether a company is performing or not. Weakness or strength. So, meaning that when you are analyzing it, you analyze the weakness of the company, you also analyze the strength of that company. They also analyze, so you now use, if they have a lot of weakness, you look at what are the opportunity available in that company, in that industry, then you use it to advise them. So, common action verb at professional level. What are the common action verbs at the professional level? Now, the following are the common action verbs. So, the following action verbs frequently appear in the ICAN professional case study question. These are the very, so when you go and check past question, you will see what I'm saying there. You will see all these verbs there. So some of you don't understand. So that's why I came out with this, so that you get all this clearly. Then when you see advise, what does it mean to you? When the examiner says advise, when you see it as part of the sentence, verb is what? Advise is a verb. So you need to also know. So what does it mean? Then to advise require the candidate to what? Provide clear recommendation. That means when you are saying advice, you must give a clear what? Recommendation. That means recommendation means a way out. Another one they expect when they say advice, that support advice with relevant analysis, meaning you are not just advising, you tell them the analysis you have made, maybe in your appendix. See appendix, see analysis, do you understand? You attach it so that they can have a deeper understanding of what you are putting through to them. Then link that recommendation to the specific circumstances of the case. You see now, you link the recommendation that you have made, you link it back to what? To the circumstances in the case, to that issue that you have raised. Do you understand? For example, they are having the issue of a profit, or they are not making revenue. Their cost has eroded their revenue, and you want to advise them. Do you understand? So the issue is that they are not making revenue. Issue is that their cost has already eroded the revenue. Do you understand? Then for you to now recommend it, that you now tell them that, well, consider the analysis above. Do you see now? You have linked. Consider the analysis above, seeing that the cost has already eroded the revenue of the company. So we are thereby recommend that the company should try as much as possible to improve the revenue generation. Can you see now? So that is, you link it up. You link it up. When you pick up issue, when you are recommending, you link it up. So that is how proper advice to be. General or theoretical advice that is not linked to the case. Fact, we attract minimal mark. So that's why many students get minimal mark. They get a little mark because they only will do a little on that. And then you will see another thing. You will see evaluate. When you go, you can go after this class, you can go and check those questions. You will see some of these keywords I'm saying. Evaluate. So when you see evaluate, what does it mean? To evaluate, it requires what? Identification of relevant issues. Meaning that when you see evaluate, they are telling you that identify issue for us. Identify issue for us in that case. As another one is they are expecting that assessment of the significance, risk, or importance of those issues. You tell them, you assess the significance of the risk involved in that issue. Do you understand? Then, what are the impacts that those issues is going to cause in the business? When you are seeing evaluate, that is, you see that they are asking a lot of things. So if you now, you will be saying it that maybe they just say that we should evaluate. No, they are asking a deeper question in one verb. A reason, conclusion, based on judgment. So a reason, meaning that a reason conclusion as that it's not that you are just making conclusion. It's a reasoning conclusion that some people will see, they say, wow, this is the best conclusion so far. You have viewed every of your judgment, you have viewed every of your analysis, you are able to come to conclusion and say this is the conclusion of our evaluation. Do you understand? Mere identification or listing does not satisfy any evaluation requirement. Does not satisfy it. When you just mere identification, you just identify it. Some students will just identify and go and run away. No, it doesn't work like that. You will tell them what happened to that thing, then what is the causes of that thing, what is the impact of that thing, then what is the likely suggestion you can give. That is all the discuss what about evaluation. Then to discuss, when you see discuss, what does the examiner want from the student? They want balanced consideration of relevant points. They want you to pick a relevant point and have a balanced consideration on it. You have a balanced consideration on it. Explanation of both positive and negative aspects. Both positive and negative aspects where applicable. You discuss both. That means when they don't follow the right way, this is the negative. When they follow the right way, this is the positive. The other, you tell them the implication of both. That is a discussion. Logical progression of argument leading to conclusion. So logical, you can set up a logical progressions argument, which will lead you to what? To make a good conclusion. Maybe, for example, a management is trying to what? Making conclusion on a particular matter, or they were unable to what? To make conclusion on a particular matter. So, and you are telling them, oh, if you go by it, the result is this. If you go by it, the result is this. However, as we expect that the manager should do this, do this. You are trying to what? To set up just a little argument that lead you to what? To give them a what? A particular professional conclusion. Narrative description without option or conclusion are insufficient. Then, when you see recommendation, recommend, what does it mean? What does it mean? When you see recommend, what does it mean? To recommend require practical and realistic proposals. They are telling you that, tell us in a real life scenario, practical things in that industry. That's what they are. So when you see recommend, that is what it means. Then clear linkage between recommendation and identify issues. You clear linkage between recommendation and identify issues. You link it to what the identify issue. Then consideration of feasibility within the case context. So you consider the what? The feasibility within the what? Case context. You don't go out of the case given to you. No, you don't go out of everything they want you to do is within that case given to you. So generic recommendation that could apply to any organization will not score well. Will not score well. You will just benchmark everything to any of organization. No, you need to focus on that case given to you in that business industry. Do you understand? Just what they are expecting you to focus. Now, we are moving. Now, next class, we are going to move towards breaking one requirement into multiple tasks. How can you break it? That's what we are going to deal with next. Breaking all the one requirement into what? Multiple tasks. How can you do it in the exam? That you can still minimize your time and ensure that you get the appropriate mark Do you understand? So that is in our next class, you are going to get that, and other thing you are going to also discuss. So if you have any question, you can feel free and ask me. You can as well chat me, let me know, so that I can respond in within time. So we can as well get this material. So you can go on our seller page, so you get this material there. So thank you for joining our class. This is Venice Tutorial Center. Join our WhatsApp. So you can make sure you subscribe on our channel. Make sure you subscribe on our channel so that you can see the next video that we are going to drop. So thank you very much.